Hi, I'm Lauren from the Livin podcast, and here's my guest, Mr. Al.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Mr. Al, do us a favor. I wanted to introduce you, but I don't feel like I'd be doing you any justice. Can you introduce yourself?
Sure, my name is Al DiGuido. I am the founder of Al's Angels, a charity that I've run from its beginning for over 25 years, helping kids with cancer, rare blood diseases, severe financial hardship. I also own a retail store in Fairfield, Connecticut called Saugatuck Sweets, which is an ice cream and candy store, which allows me to meet with a lot of young kids and have a lot of fun doing that. But I've had a career for close to 30 years in the advertising and publishing and marketing world. So I've had my experience of both commercial, nonprofit, and ice cream and candy. So it's been an incredible ride for me. I'm incredibly blessed.
So before Lauren gets into her questions, I have a couple questions about
Sure.
your backstory. I know you're from Brooklyn, right?
In Brooklyn, yep. Raised one of 7 kids. My father was a New York City cop. I went to college at St. Francis College in Brooklyn, New York, and graduated there with a political science degree, and then got into the whole advertising and marketing world because political science didn't really kind of bear out. But worked for a billboard advertising company called Foster & Kleiser that was part of Metro Media. And then, do you want me to go through the kind of whole progression, or?
I love that part of it,
Yeah.
but I really love the Al's Angel story. But I do have one question because
Sure.
I looked you up on Wikipedia and it says that you're known as the godfather of email marketing.
Yeah, really.
Tell me about that, because every time I see an email marketed to me now, I think of you.
Well, I mean, it was funny because I was involved with direct marketing for a very long period of time, offline direct marketing. And then here comes the internet, and here comes computers. And I remember when I took my first job over at Ziff Davis Publishing, Bill Ziff, who was a tremendous philanthropist and an icon in the publishing world, said to me, "Hey, listen, Al, I want you to come run this magazine for me called PC Magazine." I said, "There's magazines focused on computers?" He said, "Yeah." I said, do you own a computer, Al?" I said, "No." He said, "Well, computers are going to change the world." So sure enough, I joined on with PC Magazine and started to get involved with the whole computer industry. And email was just something that was coming along. And people were starting to do messaging on AOL and other places. And we started to look at that and say, this is a great way for people to communicate with other folks, but also a way for marketers who want to reach people with their messages to use email, opt-in, permission-based email, as a way to communicate with those folks. And so I was at the beginning stages of all of the discussions in the building and the construction of the email communications world, and from a commercial standpoint, and built 3 different digital marketing services companies that were all email-based, helping companies like Ford and Chrysler and Procter and Gamble and those companies figure out how to build email lists of their own customers and then how to communicate their messages, their advertising messages, to those people. So now, of course, it's gotten to be everything beyond just email. It's texting and social media and everything else. But I was there at the very, very beginning.
Got it. So, Lauren, you have a question for Mr. Al. Well, really quick, just so we understand this. Like, Lauren doesn't even know a world where the iPhone doesn't exist, right? Like,
Oh, no, my phone.
So I can tell you my phones. I used to be. I'm old enough to remember when you had to pull to the side of the road, go into a phone booth, and do a collect call to before there was iPhones, before there were mobile phones. My first mobile phone was back in the late 70s, where they were like big clunky phones, and they were just getting started, cell phones, and it was crazy, really, really crazy. Today it's a whole different world, but back then it was just like, it literally weighed 5 pounds, the phone.
Really quick, I'm going to take a quick pause. Hey, Jack, are you able to go let Katrina in? She's outside. You can cut this up, right?
Yep.
She wanted to come see you, too. She's not going to join us in here.
Okay.
I need to take these off. These hurt my ears.
How are you doing so far? Are you ready now? Now you get to dive in.
I don't have that many questions.
That's all right. Well,
It's good stuff, man. Really good stuff.
I only have 4.
you got more than 4.
4. But he already answered that one. So nothing.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he did.
No, he didn't.
No, this one. My bad.
Living free with Lauren. I like that.
All right.
Wait,
Jack, let me know when we're back. Good to go, buddy.
not good to go yet. No.
All right. I guess we're back.
You want me to get that bag? Yeah.
No, I got it. We're all set. Yeah, we're good.
Here you go.
All right. Good?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So let's go. Fire away. What do you got?
Okay, so what is Al's Angels, and how did you start it from the
Yeah, I
beginning?
mean, it's really, thank you for asking that question. It's a really great story. So I like to play football, and I like to watch football, and I'm a big Giants fan, which is why I have a lot of gray hair right now. But way back when, almost 30 years ago, a friend of mine said, "Hey, listen Al, there's a party going on over in New Jersey, and all the Giants are going to be there." And my company bought a table, and I got an extra seat. Would you like to go? I said, "Wow, that'd be great. Unbelievable. I definitely want to go." He said, "Will you come?" So I went to this place in Hackensack, New Jersey, a hotel there, and walked in, and all my heroes from the Giants were there: Phil Simms, Lawrence Taylor, Leonard Marshall, all these big players. And I'm walking around, I'm getting autographs, and it's a really great night. And all of a sudden they said, "Okay, we're going to start our program." And I didn't know anything about the program. And we all sit down, and the room gets very quiet, and a woman comes up to the podium, and she says, "Hi, my name is Betty. I want to introduce you to some women who are going to tell you their stories." And I'm looking at my buddy Pete, and I'm going like, "What's this about?" And so she gets up and she says, "I want to introduce you to Charlotte." Charlotte gets up, this woman. She says, "Hi, my name is Charlotte. My son's name is Todd. He's 9 years old, and he's dying of cancer. And the money that you raise here tonight is going to help us provide for gifts and food. We've been wiped out financially." And all of a sudden, the room that was very, very noisy got very, very quiet. Then she walked off the podium, and a woman named Kathy came up, and she said, "My daughter's name is Amy, and she's 12 years old, and she's dying of cancer. And my husband left, and we've been wiped out financially, and we don't have any money for food or clothing or gifts or anything. So the money you raise here tonight at this event is going to go to helping us." There were 2 or 3 people that came out afterwards, and I looked over at my buddy, and I went, "Pete, what the heck is going on here?" He goes, "What do you mean?" I went, "How is it that mothers of children that are so ill and sick have to stand in front of strangers and beg for money?" And he says, "I don't know." And I said to him, "That's not a good answer. You don't know. How is it in the United States of America, with all the money that we have, that parents with young kids are having this type of challenge and have to stand in front of strangers and ask for money?" So the night was over, and I can always remember it vividly as I'm talking to you today, driving home in a pouring rain. And have you ever been spooked? Have you ever been haunted? No? Yeah. I was haunted that night. It was the words that have always, to this day, kind of kept in me. All of a sudden I heard this voice say, "What if it were you?" And over and over again in my head. I couldn't get it out of my head. So I literally pulled to the side of the road and I was crying because I was thinking of getting my young kids back at home in their beds, asleep, healthy. What would I do? What would I do if my child could come down with some very harsh disease and had been wiped out financially? What would I do? So I couldn't get out of my head. I composed myself. I drove home, woke up my wife, Chris, and said, "Chris, I just went through this whole experience." And I said, "I can't, we got to do something. Just got to do something." She said, "It's 1:30 in the morning. What are we going to do?" I said, "Oh," I said, "No, tomorrow we're going to start thinking about what we could do to help these families." So that night literally was the night that Al's Angels started to a certain degree. But I was working for the Ziff Davis company at the time. Bill Ziff, as I said before, was a major philanthropist. And I went to him. I said, "Bill, here's this story." He said, "Well, what do you want to do?" I said, "I want to raise money for this organization called Hackensack Medical Center." So because I was running a very, very large computer magazine called Computer Shopper, I went to all the big computer companies and said, "Listen, here's what we're going to do. We're going to try to raise money." First year, we raised over $4 million and provided the Hackensack Medical Center with $4 million for the foundation of this facility and the work.
That's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
In the second year, we raised a little over $2 million. But things, politics sometimes happen and bureaucracy sometimes happens. And I wanted to make sure that all of the money that we raised went to children in need and families in need. So there was a confusion about that. And I said, "You know what? I'm going to do my own thing. I'm going to go back into my garage and I'm going to create Al's Angels. And the foundation is to help these children and their families. And that's what I've been doing for the last 25 years.
So I just want to give you a little background. So when you were diagnosed with cancer, I had kind of like that feeling that Mr. Al had. I knew instantly that I wanted to do something to help other families just like ours. And I wasn't really sure how yet. And I didn't even know anybody in that world. Nobody. So a woman named Barb Susie, shout out to Barb Susie. Barb Susie is like, "You got to meet this guy, Al. He does this incredible event. He helps kids with cancer, and he's doing it." I want to say it was your Easter event. It was Easter at the Galt warehouse down on Seaview Avenue, Bridgeport. And she's like, "You got to come see this. You got to come see this." And so we showed up, and it was unbelievable. You have to picture this. You've been to them now as
sure.
a little bit older, but it's this huge warehouse. Talking to the camera now, it's this huge warehouse. You saw hundreds, if not thousands, of bins on the floor, pallets of food, and people moving like worker bees. It was so unbelievable, and I instantly knew, like,
it's organized chaos.
It was organized chaos, but it was like there was just an energy when you walked in the room of just people doing good. And I was like, this is what I need to be around. I need to be around people like this because this is now the life that I want to live. So the backstory about me and Mr. Al is when you were sick, I went to that event. I was very inspired by Mr. Al, and he was gracious enough to use some of his time at Saugatuck Sweets, the ice cream shop, to just kind of let me pick his brain about this world. And
but together we're doing a lot of great stuff, which is the important thing. I think that part of this is always, for those of you who are listening and watching, is all of us, if we all work together. I remember my wife saying that night when it all started, "What is it you want to do, Al? You want to change the world?" And I said, Chris, I don't want to change the world. I want to do whatever I can do to change and help the lives of as many kids and families as I can. It may not be the whole world, but if I can start to enlist other people and get other people involved, together we can help even more. So, every year since then, we help over 20,000 children a year. We provide them with holiday meals and gifts, toys. we help close to 4,000 families have some sense of joy and hope, because it can be a very, as you guys know, it can be a very challenging, lonely, sad place. For the holidays, when most people who are not impacted by cancer or rare blood diseases or severe financial hardship, those people are out there enjoying themselves. Others are not. And it's up to us, all of us who can, anyone who's listening, to do whatever you possibly can to bring that level of joy, if only for those brief moments. That's it.
So what inspired you to provide food?
For the ice cream business?
Yeah.
I think that, I have 3 children, I have 7 grandkids, and what's wild is there's a tremendous amount of joy that you get from seeing children happy. I think that's one of the things, kind of a crossover between Saugatuck Sweets and Al's Angels. I've walked into hospitals and oncology facilities and cancer wards, and I've seen children who are beautiful children, who are saddened by what they're going through, the challenges they're going through. And I said, and then I've seen the opposite. I've seen it with, hey, when you're giving someone an ice cream cone or candy, when you guys have come in and all of a sudden you light up and you smile. I said, that's such a, it's such a great thing, such a great message. So in my life, as my kids have gotten older and as I started to look for things that I could be doing where they brought me joy, because the counterbalance, right? The balance of, you want to have joy in your life, but you also want to use that strength that you have from God to help other people who are going through tough times. So Saugatuck Sweets is nothing more. We don't make $1 bazillion at Saugatuck Sweets, but it is a place, and that when people come in, they smile. When you come into the store, you have cartoons on the ceiling, on the walls, and you have this sense of joy and amazement that you see in the eyes and the smiles and the faces of the children, and that's such a tremendous gift to my wife and I.
Didn't you have a question to him about Saugatuck Sweets?
Who's your favorite angel?
Oh, that's Angels. I'm just talking about Saugatuck Sweets, girl. Oh.
What's my favorite flavor? No.
Yeah.
No, really?
Yeah. What's your favorite ice cream flavor to have?
Oh gosh, I have to stay away from ice cream. But I mean, when I do have my little taste of ice cream, I like peanut butter cup. I really do. So.
Is that like this smashed together peanut butter?
No, it's actually got the cups like in chunks in the peanut butter. That's what I kind of like. I like that combination of chocolate and peanut butter. That's good.
What's
stuff.
your favorite? We had this talk on the way here. I was like, well, what's your favorite ice cream if he asks you that?
Caramel sea salt.
Yeah, that's like, that's good. Well, now they have I always think that there's something addictive about Oreos. So when they have the caramel sea salt Oreo, oh my gosh, people go crazy for that. Anything with Oreos in it, Oreo bomb and coffee Oreo and all kinds of flavors. But yeah, sea salt is a really good flavor.
When I asked her that in the car, I was like, so what's your favorite ice cream? She gave me an answer that I wasn't expecting. I think that you should make a confession. I think you should tell him.
I don't like that much ice creams. I like candy more.
I know. I was going to say that. You guys are like, you look at the candy area and you're, wow, let's go. And now that Mrs. DiGuido is spending more time in Fairfield, she's the queen of candy. You have to come back in because she's gotten all kinds of little stuff. I mean, we've had boxes and we've had loose candy, but now we got all kinds of little types of candies. And it's going crazy. Kids are buying it left, right, and center. It was great.
So I have a question for you about going back to Al's Angels and some of these events that you do. What I found most fascinating was how many people you have inspired. Live Free, we have a hard time because we don't have like a community event like that where we can inspire people. Can you kind of go into that? Like, what was your thought process? I mean, I know you touched on it, gathering more people. But you do just such a phenomenal job with everything that you do, all the events that you do of gathering the people. Can you want to expand on that a little bit?
Yeah, I think that people, Dan, you continue to inspire me for what you do, what you and Lauren and your entire family do. I mean, it's just incredible. There are not a lot of, sadly, there are not a lot of us out there kind of doing things.
Light warriors. That's what we're calling, warriors of the light.
Yeah. So, but the I think inside everyone is a place in their heart that says they want to leave a legacy. They want, they've had some level of success in their lives, and their children are healthy. But it is that haunting message of, what if it were you? And that's one of the things I do when I try to inspire people is, it's great. You've got young kids, you got a nice house, you got cars, you got a nice job and everything else. But what if all of a sudden, because all of this is so random, we really don't have an idea about who's going to be impacted and who's not going to be impacted.
Amen.
So it's just a roll of the dice. It's just a blessing that you aren't today impacted. So what I always try to do is say to people, hey, listen, you're blessed and that's great, but what if it were you? What would you do? And most people don't want to go there, right? They don't want to go to that place where all the fear and the anxiousness and all that kind of stuff live. But I live in that spot. I live in that spot, and I live in that spot to tell them, to have them open up their heart to do it. And the other part of it is, we're in Fairfield County here, and a lot of young parents do want to have their children, and that's the thing I'm most excited about and blessed about, is we are able not only to bring the parents in, but we bring a lot of the kids in, right? And the kids understand at a much deeper level that, what if it was me? And for Lauren, it was you, right? And your message to other children about it could be you, and what we have to help other children, is what really has become incredible, the glue. And the other part of it is the fact that they can come to the arena. They can come to a place where they actually see their money and their time and their efforts go towards helping other people, literally. I mean, you're putting the items into a bin, you're putting the bins into a truck, you're taking the trucks out to places, and you're delivering that. It really connects all the dots. And while it's great, and the work you guys do in terms of helping families and children, achieve, have their dreams and fun and everything else is tremendous. This is similar to that in the fact that they get to kind of be part of every step of the way and understand what their money, what their time, what their resources, what they're doing, and how they're helping people that are in really desperate need of joy and happiness.
Super important, for sure. That's one of the biggest things and another reason why we're doing this, we want to show a little bit of transparency. We want people to understand the journey and about it. Speaking of the journey, I do want to really quickly just tell the story about Live Free. I know you're a humble man, so you're not going to want this, but Live Free wouldn't be what we are without you. And I mean that sincerely, because if we go way back, I remember the day I'll never forget. I was at the gym, I was at LA Fitness, I was feeling really good, and I was like, I'm going to write an email to Mr. DiGuido. I actually still have it. I have it still written in my notes on my phone. It was the best email I ever written. I clearly laid out the plan for Live Free, but I didn't know where to start, and I didn't know what to do. And I reached out to you, and I was like, hey, is this something that you can help with? And you were like, absolutely. And you became a fiscal sponsor for Live Free for our first event. And I really didn't know that Live Free was going to be a real thing. I just knew that I wanted to throw this event, and we ended up making a lot of donations. I remember you wrote an email. You're like, hey, Dan, you need to start your own thing here, because we got to start putting money in your own name. And so for that, we're forever grateful. And then also we've collaborated. I love collaboration. Live Free, and you've taught me that from the very beginning. We've collaborated.
Ice skating rink.
The ice skating rink was so much fun in the middle of Fairfield. Like, that was something. Hopefully we can get like a clip of that, and we'll try to slice that in here and show that video or like a picture of that. But we shut down the green in Fairfield in front of Saugatuck Suites, and we had hundreds and hundreds of people out there supporting our causes.
The one thing I'm sorry to interrupt you, but one thing I would say is, those of you who are listening, it's not easy to do this.
Oh my God, no.
I mean, there's a lot of people out there in the world that put up roadblocks. And if you're thinking that, it's pretty simple, you just kind of put together an event in the middle of Fairfield, or you put together an event in an arena, or you put we would hope that the world would understand this, but sadly, there's a lot of people that don't understand it and have some other agenda that is not an agenda that our only agenda is to help children, right. All of us, right? Live Free, Al's Angels, to help children in need. We have no other agenda. But there are people who have agendas. So I admire what you have done. I'm incredibly proud to have the association we have with you guys, because it takes a warrior. It takes a warrior mentality to do this. It's not something for the faint of heart.
Sure
You
not.
have to be incredibly passionate about what you're doing, so that you are a fighter. So it's all these years in doing what I've done. I mean, I've run across all kinds of people. A lot of people are really, really very understanding, very, very supportive, but there are people that are not. But we're not going to be limited. We're not going to be depressed by it. We're just going to give us even further energy to kind of triumph over that. So, Live Free is an incredible. What a tribute to you guys and what you've done. For us at Al's Angels, the work is the most important thing, and I know that that's the same for you guys. So, but for anybody who's listening to anything who's we'll just create a 501c3 and we'll just kind of put it all together, and we'll just get a bunch of people, and it's a lot of work. It's great work. It's God's work. It's what we need to be doing on this earth to help other people. That's what we're supposed to be doing. Part of our life. I'm not saying you're supposed to walk away from your family or your career or any other thing. I've had all of that. But the little time that you have that's open, use it. Use it to help somebody else, because the joy that you get on the back end of it is incredible. It's incredible.
Amen. Lauren, you have one of your final. You ask everybody.
I'm not done though.
Oh, you're not done. Go ahead. What else you
Oh,
got?
you're not done yet.
I'm sorry. I thought we were close. All right. What else you got?
So how many kids and grandkids do you have again?
So I have 3 children, 2 girls and a boy, and I have 7 grandchildren. So 5 boys and 2 girls. And you know what? They're all involved, just like you guys are all involved. They're all involved with Al's Angels, which is incredible, right? It's great to see as you kind of do your thing, you see your grandkids out there doing stuff, because you know what? It's like someday you're gonna have children, and you're gonna spread the Live Free message to them. It's great, because that hopefully one day all of us don't have to do this. We hope, we pray that someday we don't have to do this. But until that day, we keep going on. We keep moving forward. So to see my grandchildren involved and excited and enthused, that's such a great blessing. So I know that that someday they will continue the message. They will continue to do the work, which is great.
You can go for it. Go ahead.
Who's your favorite child and your favorite grandchild?
Oh man, that's a deadly question. I would say, and this is not, I'm not trying to be a cop out on this, but I love all my children. I love all my grandchildren in different ways. Okay, they all bring joy and happiness and love to me. That's what I'm incredibly blessed. So when I do go, and I think Dad would probably say the same thing. When you're dealing with children that are suffering and are in need, you look over at your own children, and you say, "How blessed am I? Oh my God, how blessed am I that Lauren bounced back, that Lauren is healthy, that Lauren." That I have children that are healthy, that are happy, they're laughing, they're joyful. So I don't have a favorite, because I always think I know that God has blessed me with tremendous kids. They're all funny, they're quirky, but you know what? When we're all together, we laugh, and I love to laugh, and they bring me such joy and laughter in my life, which is a tremendous gift. So I don't have a favorite. They all. Like right now, I have my grandson Ryan, who came up from the city. He's working in the store with me, and he just jokes around, and it just it just puts tremendous love in my heart. So each of them have their own little twist.
Don't look at me. You got one more.
So talking about work, who's your favorite angel?
So I have a tattoo on my right arm. It is Saint Michael the Archangel, and he has a sword in his hand. So my favorite angel is Saint Michael the Archangel, because underneath it says, "No weapon formed against us will ever prosper." So whenever I'm feeling down, or whenever I'm feeling like, oh my gosh, this is so challenging now, whatever I'm going through is a challenging situation, I look over at my right arm and I go, St. Michael the Archangel, help me. No weapon, no one is powerful enough to overcome what we're doing. So he's my favorite angel, and he's my inspirer. And then as I look at you, and I look at your dad, and I look at your family, and I look at the people that come, you're my favorite angels, because without you as angels, without these people as angels, and not all of you who are listening today and supporting Live Free, there are no programs. We can't, Dan and I and Lauren, we can't do this by ourselves. So we need you. We need your support. We need your elbow grease. We need all of that. And you're my favorite angels because you decided somewhere along the line to get involved. And as a result of you getting involved, you bring joy and happiness to people that wouldn't have it. So you're all my favorite angels. Those of you who get involved, those who are listening and want to get involved, there's ways for you to do that.
Can you want to tell people about that really quick?
Yeah, sure. I mean, you can go up on www.alsangels.org. There's a site that tells you a little bit about what we're doing, and there's a place that says volunteer. If you volunteer, we get your email address, and we have close to 8,000 people in our database right now that are volunteers, and
Wow.
we make you aware of events that we have coming up and how you can volunteer. So
I want to attest to that really quick. If people are interested in volunteering for any organization, I highly recommend you checking out this meal bin assembly that you guys do now at the amphitheater in Bridgeport. It's incredible. If you're in the Fairfield County area, please look that up. Bring your kids if you can. It's super inspiring. It inspired me, and I know it inspires hundreds of people. I know you have Fairfield University heavily involved.
yeah.
We're trying to get Sacred Heart involved.
Yeah, but I mean, you know yourself, Dan, when you're there, it inspires us who've been doing it for years
Sure.
to see these people like just, we start at 6 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday in November. I mean, it's not exactly the best time of day to do it, but the fact that people come out of the woodwork to help is incredible. So it is inspiring. It does stir something in your soul that goes, when you sit down for your Thanksgiving meal, you know that, wow, we did something to help people in need. So it's an incredibly spiritual and moving kind of experience, as is the work that you do. I mean, I got to believe that when you all give children that are in need, you send them to an event or whatever, you go, wow, look at the face of that child who's going through such challenges. And we, Live Free, were able to bring some joy and happiness into that life. I mean, you can't put a price tag on that.
Right.
You can't. And what it does for the people who are involved, it moves your soul, and it's a good thing. Really good thing.
Yeah, for sure. You got your last one. This is a staple question. She asks everybody this one.
Okay.
What's your favorite thing to do with your family?
Favorite thing to do with my family?
This could be all time. It could be your kids when they were little. It could be your grandkids now. All time favorite thing to do with your family.
I think, being together with them. Like we just got this past holiday season, we were down in Florida. Everybody was together. And it really is, it's nothing like, we've been to the Disneys and places like that. It really is everybody sitting around at dinner, and we start to talk, and we start to tell jokes, and we start to laugh together. And to me, that's the most incredible thing we can have. Like I said, you can go to all kinds of theme parks and movies and stuff like that. Spending time together and watching their personalities shine, right? My own children, I've been able to kind of watch them in sports and stuff like that, which is fun. But sitting there having conversations with them and laughing, I mean, really belly laughing, is probably my favorite thing to do.
Excellent. All right. Last thing. This is the last thing, I promise.
No, don't worry.
Last year we had to cancel our gala due to circumstances outside of our control. However, we had this cool award for you, so we wanted to present it with you now.
Oh my God, a award.
I know you're that kind of guy, but Al, I just need you to know how much you mean to me, how much you mean to Live Free, and the things that you've done. Do you want to read it, or do you want me to read it?
You can read it.
You want to read it together?
Sure.
All right, let's read it together. So this says, to Al DiGuido, in grateful appreciation of the heartfelt commitment and dedication you have generously given to help kids with cancer. It's a little bit late, but we greatly appreciate everything that you've done for us. So here you go.
Well, I'm very appreciative, and thank you very much. And I am very humbled. And, you know, as you and I both know, I mean, we don't have, it's never been about accolades and trophies and awards. And I do appreciate this because I know it comes from the heart, your hearts, and I do appreciate it. It really is, for me, the association is just an incredible association between us. And to watch the success that you've had and the growth that you've had with Live Free has just been amazing. So I'm humbled to receive something from you. And I think that, you know, like I said, the people who are listening use this and use, accolades like this as a way for you to get off your butt, to be honest with you. And to get involved, because it's such an enriching part of my life. I know Dan's life and his family's life, and there's nothing to prevent you from doing that.
Right.
Nothing. All it is taking the time to do that. So thank you very much for this recognition. I appreciate it. I appreciate even more the love and support you've given me all these years, and the tribute that your organization is to what together we have together. So thank you very much for this.
Thank you. And as always, I appreciate, I love you. Thank you for everything that you've ever done for us as a family, and it's been a lot. So thank you. Now, Lauren, take us away. Do you remember your sign off?
Done a great job, though, Lauren, by the way.
Thank you.
Very proud of you. Well, let me ask you a question.
Oh, here we go. He has questions for us now.
All right, so what's your favorite candy?
My favorite candy, the banana. The
Those gummy bananas? Really? You better come quick because we're running out of those. That's it. You like the gummy bananas? Ay, ay, ay. What else? What was the second favorite?
Ice cream, she likes gummy bananas.
Yeah, she doesn't like any ice cream. Banana
Mom is
jelly.
always shaking her head. Get a small bag. Get a small bag.
And then I like it's like a bottle, and then it's like cut off. You have to cut it off, and there's like a drink inside of it.
Oh my! The wax bottles?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Mom! Wax bottles. The worst thing you could ever have. What do you do with the wax? You chew it up and then you spit it out, right?
So I bite the top off, and then I drink whatever's inside.
Yeah, whatever's inside is a good point. No, but this, by the way, this is, and as Lauren's saying this, she's smiling, which is a great thing, right? But the fact that what makes kids smile, toxic waste. Why would, I mean, I've been in marketing and advertising my whole life. Hey guys, we got this idea for this new candy. What's it called? Toxic waste. Yeah, well, that's going to go really well.
And sure does. It sells out, doesn't it?
Oh my God, people buy this stuff and they can barely eat it without having to put, lots of water in their mouth. Anyway, God bless you, my dear.
Thank you. Remember, slay the day. Bye.
That's it. We're
Thank
done.
you very much. Thank you for this.
Al, thank you, man.
God bless.